What's up guys, Nick Rapazzi here and welcome to NR Motorsports YouTube channel. So today we're going to be working on the Datsun. I got a bit of cleaning up to do. I got to get all this stuff out of here. We're going to be taking this side door off today. Now that I know I'm not going to be using these doors, I'm going to order new ones. And we're going to try to get the floor pan out of the passenger side and just get a bunch of prep work done and things in order. So this weekend when I come back in here, we could just start cutting metal, start welding things in, cleaning stuff up, and utilizing the time that we have this weekend to just get a good base for the passenger side. And hopefully in a week or two we'll get this all finished up and then we can start on the driver's side. But enough of me talking. I'm gonna put you guys down in a time lapse. We're just gonna clean up all this stuff, get the fenders off, because when I cleaned out the garage, anything that had to do with the Datsun, I just threw it on here when it came to like the body kit and all this kind of stuff too. So I'm probably gonna try to get the fenders and put those in the big garage and just get them out of the way. Same thing with the doors, just get these out of the way because I'm gonna be ordering new fenders because I did weld these pieces on, but I just don't like the way that this came out wavy. And it's just, again, this is like my first time ever doing like crazy like metal bodywork stuff, so I'm still learning how to keep things from coming out shitty. So the stuff that you can't see when you're seeing under the frame, under all that stuff, doesn't really matter what it looks like as long as it's structurally sound and doesn't look like total ass. I'm cool with. But stuff that you're gonna see on the outside, I definitely want it to be as perfect or as good as we can get it. And again, a lot of this stuff's got a little bit of like surface rust and like just shit wrong with it. So we're gonna get rid of a lot of this stuff and just replace it with brand new, because it's crazy. It's only been probably like 2 or 3 years, and they all like there's already a shit ton of parts that there wasn't available for this thing. Like the rear hatch, I bought this one, and again, I'm not going to be using this because they have a metal one that's a lot better shape. And I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but you can see this rough edge. It's like they didn't put enough fiberglass, and for me to spend hours making this look better than what it is, it's just easier for me to buy a metal stamped one that's not all fucked up like this. But again, at the time, 2-3 years ago, you couldn't find a hatch. Nowhere they didn't make them. No one, if they did make them, they were like one-off projects. And I found a company that made this in Canada, and because there was nothing else available, I was like, fuck it, I'll buy this and I'll make it work. But now that metal stamp shit is available and I've seen the quality of it, and it's fairly like bolt on, you don't really have to do much work to it because it's that good of quality of work. So that's what's gonna happen with this. We're gonna I will save this, and I don't know, if somebody wants it, I'll sell it. So I think I spent like 600 bucks on this, and I'd probably sell for like 300 bucks, but more than likely I'm just gonna keep it as a backup. It's good to have, like with this old ass car, it's good to have spare parts. So I won't throw any of this shit out because it's still fixable. It's just, to me, I could save a shit ton of time buying a better part and doing less work to make it work than for me to spend 10 hours to make this look clean and look nice when I want the whole car to look nice. So we will save it, but I am going to order new shit. So it does save me a lot of time and effort on a lot of this shit. And yeah, we do got a shit ton of metal work. You see this right here? I was putting a fuel cell back here, but then I found out, and I'll show you, there's a 72 GMC truck fuel tank that is the same exact size as the stock tank that goes in here, but it doesn't have the bevel for the spare tire, because I don't really care if it doesn't have a spare tire. I'm used to the Corvette life where there is no spare tire, so if it breaks down you got to get towed. Just hopefully don't catch a flat, and if you catch a flat, that's what AAA is for. So we will get all this shit off. I'll put you guys in a time lapse and get to work. All right, dude, so got this all cleared out, got everything out. I started vacuuming up this because I literally have not touched this thing since it got sandblasted. As you can see, the other side, it's all the sand remnants from when this thing got sandblasted, and here's where it's at. But I just wanted to show you guys the floors before we take it out. So this car came from my friend Benny. He gave me this as long as I kept it and restored it, so that's what we're here doing. But he did have these floors replaced by a repair shop probably 15-20 years ago, and they didn't want to do the work of taking out the seat brackets and just putting them back, which it's literally like 5 spot welds, so I don't understand why it was such a big deal. So they slipped this under and then they cut the floor in half instead of repairing all of it, because it wasn't that bad back here. But it just, as you can see, it's like a half-ass repair here. And they only tack welded it, and then they just fucking siliconed over the top of it to see, because you couldn't see this stuff before when it wasn't sandblasted, but they took the silicone right off. And then up here, like the metalwork's not even like welded down. They just put this like very thick, I don't know, glue or something or whatever the case may be, just to put the floor in. And it's, as you can see, it didn't work. It fucking made the sheet metal where it butted up against rust. They didn't do any of this repair correctly, so that's why we're doing this now. It's like, the floors are still pretty solid, but you got rust holes going through here. This shit's not right, and I want this shit fixed correctly. So I'm pulling off the doors, 612 mils right there. We'll get this door out, and then we'll start working on getting this floor out. All right, guys, before I get too far ahead of myself, I obviously got the car up on its side, and I'm just doing a rough cut on here just to get this, most of the floor pan out. I'm basically gonna rough cut this all the way up to this line right here, because the new one stops basically right here where that old one started. So they kind of look like the same floor pans, but you could see how this one's molded, and then the guy just like fucking put a piece of metal up through the bottom to do this. This shit's kind of idiotic when that piece just goes right up to it. So yeah, I do see that this has like drain holes in the floor. I don't know if I have to get plugs for that, or I might just seal it up, because there's really no reason to have drain holes. This thing's not going through fucking water. So we'll figure that out afterwards. But yeah, so basically I'm just gonna rough cut all this. I want to try to keep as much stock metal as I possibly can, so I'm not gonna cut any of that. And then once I get that up there in the area, I'll make a line and see exactly how I want to actually cut this thing. But for the most part, I just want to get this floorboard out. I would not recommend this without bracing the car, but since I already welded the roll cage in, I don't foresee this like fucking anything up, because the car's pretty solid as it is. So, and that's why I'm doing one side at a time. So we'll get this out. Let me just rough cut it. I'm not gonna film it. It's just me cutting and grinding, and we'll get back to it. All right, guys, a little bit longer than I expected it to, but as you can see, the two pieces right there, that's the back piece. The last dude that installed this literally fucking glued it on. That's all this is glued, and a couple of different tack welds. It was just a shitty installation. You can see, because nothing was sealed, nothing was welded correctly, everything rusted away. But I'm definitely gonna be I did end up cutting a lot less than I needed to. And we're going to probably get some fresh lines. I do want to hold that up and try to get that lip as high up on this as I can to give it a nice transition on here. And that's not even the right side. That's the correct side. But yeah, so these bend up, so I'm gonna probably end up bending those up forward and then welding those along this flat edge down here, because all this shit, you can see it's all rusted from the last install that wasn't done right, and they used some sort of silicone. And when we go over this, we're going to clean everything up, pour 15 the bottom, and then we're going to rhino line the entire underneath of the car, so it'll be structurally sound and hold everything together. I'm still as you see these frame rails right here, they are thin metal, and even the new ones aren't even that thick. And I saw a guy that did way thicker frame rails, and I saw that there's U-channel that is because I want to keep it as low as possible, so probably do like 1/2 inch U-channel that's I don't know, 1/4 inch thick, something that's a little bit thicker than what this is, because I want to, over here, this rear section of subframe, I want to connect this to the front. So I'm going to run channel all the way across here, up through here, and then connect the two subframes to give this a stiffer chassis. Even though we do have the roll cage and it should be stiff enough, I just want to make sure this thing is fucking super solid and drives better than it ever been. Because I was even thinking about doing a flat bottom on this. So on Corvettes, they have a panel that mounts right under here and covers up this whole thing, which we're already under here. It'll cost me next to nothing to put a panel in there and fucking seal up the bottom. And then even more so, there's a front lip that I want to put basically like a plate across the bottom and do a flat bottom on this. So I think, well, we're probably going to end up doing a full flat bottom on this, and I'm getting pretty serious with like the chassis. So let me clean up. I'm probably going to leave it here for today. It's 7 o'clock. I still want to go shower and eat. So we are in a good place for this weekend to clean this up even more and mock up the floor pan and get that probably tacked in this weekend. So holding you guys down low. But say what up to the live stream over there. I know you guys are paying attention too, but yeah, let's finish this up. I'm gonna clean up, put this shit away, and close this out for you guys in a few.